No, it's not logos, it's logos.
It's Lagis.
No,
They call the Lagis?
no.
A goose? Two goose? Could be a silly goose?
Genesis. Genesis. All right. Speaking of our conversation, Ethan, any time for war.
What? I didn't say that.
Genesis 14, verses 1 to 13, a time for war. King Jesus, you're holy, 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 and good. We thank you, our good God, for you. We thank you that when we read the writings of the ancients and how when we take those writings and like the book of Malachi, Micah, the book of Micah, we see it saying the destruction of your enemies. Then when Jesus, you came, how you ruled over the enemies as you let the enemies run you in. We thank you for your power, the power that came out from that, because we are all beneficiaries of that. There is no God as good as you, and we declare allegiance to you time and time again. Amen. You ready? In the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Sherodalamar, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations. They made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah. It feels like the beginning of a movie, right?
Just read normally.
Do you okay? They made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shanab, king of Admah, Shemar, king of Zebrium, and the king of Bela, that is Zor. All these joined together in the vale of Siddim, that is the Dead Sea. For 12 years they have served Shedalamar, but in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Shedalamar and the kings who were with him came and overwhelmed the Raphites at Ashtaroth Karnam, the Zuzites at Ham, the Emites at Shavah Keratham, and the Horites in their mountains, Seir as far as El Paran, which is near the wilderness. When they returned, they came to En Mishpat, that is Kadesh. And overwhelmed all the territory of the Amalekites and also the Amorites living in Hazazon Tamar. So the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboram, and the king of Bela, that is Zor, went out and engaged them in war in the vale of Siddim. Shedalamar, king of Elam, Tidal, king of nations, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings against the 5, the vale of Siddim, having many Betitum pits. When the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, they fell in them, while the rest fled to the mountains. They, the 4 kings, took all the property of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food, and went. So they took Lot, the son of Abram's brother, and his property, and went. He was living in Sodom. A survivor came and told Abram the Hebrew. He was dwelling by the oaks of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and brother of Aner. These were covenant partners of Abram. All right. Anything stood out to you? So there's actually a lot of things that are happening. So we're always talking about war, and around Abram right now, around Abraham, there's a bunch of war. Ham is not there yet, but so war happening, right? Here's the cool part: is who is actually establishing peace with his neighbors? Yeah, he's actually making covenant partners, and they are by the oaks, which whenever we see trees, oaks, Garden of Eden. So here is Abram making peace with his neighbors, living as if it's the Garden of Eden by the oaks of Mamre. That's a huge Eden point. Like Abraham's doing it right now. He's not falling. He's not falling. Yeah. Well, there's gonna be times of compromise, but we won't get there yet. So right now he's not falling under the bane and lust of war. And usually, right, when it comes to water and lands, conflicts easily happen, but he actually made partners, covenant partners with the local inhabitants. Who are these local inhabitants? Family of Abram? No. So I think this is a great story. I think, again, when we're always going back towards Eden, where that's the strive, is making peace. It's always the strive. All right. You ready for commentary? On the first Martin Luther King Jr. commemoration, after I came to the United States, his daughter Bernice King preached in the seminary chapel. As I walked to chapel that morning, I remember wondering whether she will be the kind of person who focused on a social gospel, on the need to develop a society in which people of all ethnic backgrounds could play a full part, or whether she will be the kind of person who focused on our personal relationships with God. As I walked back after chapel, I knew I had been put in my place. She had embodied the unity of God's concern for us. God is not just concerned for the social or for the spiritual. The spiritual is social. The social is spiritual. So I think that's a really good talk even about. So when we think of our relationship with King Jesus, it gets very just me and my relationship. But what I do in the community also affects my spiritual condition. So it's yes, right? If spirituality does not overflow into social concern, it is not spirituality. And if social concerns does not incorporate questions about relationship with God, it is not social concern. My failure to take for granted that Bernice King would embody the unity of these two concerns showed how these have not been in unity in the traditions from which I come. The African American community has not had the luxury or the misfortune of being able to keep them separate. Neither did Abraham. He had left the ancient and impressive city of Ur and the ancient and impressive civilization of Babylonia, with its military and political sophistication, and became part of a purpose God was working out below the radar. Nobody in the world of power, politics, knew about Abraham and how significant he was. Yet this did not mean he had contracted out of the world. When the world crisis came to impinge on Lot, Abraham, the Hebrew, could not say it was not his business. How he came to be involved in this crisis is an extraordinary story. I imagine the Israelites listening to it were bemused. It begins with the four big guys, and among these, the Israelites might recognize the names of Shinar and Elam. If they were listening to the Genesis story sequentially, they heard of Shinar in connection with Nimrod and with the Babylonian tower, and of Elam as one of Shem's descendants. But we don't know who their four kings were or where Elisar was, and King of Nations is an odd title. All these names will likely be as puzzling to Israelites as to us. They would just suggest exotic Middle Eastern kings and nations. What is clear is that an alliance of kings from from far away has imposed its authority where Lot lives. Because the little guys in the story are the kings of 5 cities down in the Jordan Valley. These 5 cities feature elsewhere in the Old Testament and look as if they are places that people would know about. They would at least recognize their names, even if they would not know the names of their kings. We too know nothing else about them. They might also know that here king means something rather different from what it means in connection with the 4 big guys. The 4 are serious, big power players. The 5 are just the rulers of obscure little towns. The Gang of 4 maintained their authority for 12 years, after which the 5 Jordan Valley cities issued a declaration of independence. They will no longer accept the authority of this far-off imperial type alliance, and they evidently think they can take this action and get away with it. Perhaps they were not the only cities that were doing so, but the Gang of 4 overwhelmed a list of other peoples in the general area. Insofar as we can locate these peoples, they lived east and south of the Dead Sea. It's funny how, like, in reading this, when he says they issued a Declaration of Independence, what event is he connecting it to? In the United States, that's what it was called, a Declaration of Independence. July 4th, that's the celebration of Independence Day. So,
Which for some reason is connected to like literally no historical event. Like they could have done July 2nd, which is when they actually wrote the declaration.
when Tom, yeah.
But it's like I don't know. For some reason, it's just
July 4th would sound better than July 2nd.
July 2nd. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, if we had stuck with July 2nd,
It probably wouldn't sound better. Yeah. Yeah, I get. But yeah, so here is this little group of 5 declaring their separation from the big oppressive group out there, right? Maybe the Gang of 4 were extending their empire. Maybe they're putting other rebellious peoples in their place. It was the kind of political and military scenario Israelites were used to. The control of a foreign empire from the east, rebellions, punitive expeditions. Israel itself lived for some time under the authority of the successors of these 4 kings, Assyrian kings and Babylonian kings, and they were themselves inclined to rebel from time to time and usually then got put in their place. Whether putting down these other peoples was a first conquest or a re-subjugation, the 5 cities came next. They did not wait to be attacked. They took the initiative. But it was no contest. The 5 kings were soon on the run. 3 run for the hills, and 2 fall into bitumen pits. Did they jump? Was this their refuge, or did they just fall? Either way, it is somewhat humiliating. I imagine the story's listeners tittering. So much for the pretensions of the kings of the Jordan Valley, who seem impressive when Lot looked down there, but who now look rather less so. All right. In the absence of the kings and their armies, that is, the menfolk, the Gang of 4 are free to do the usual thing and plunder the 5 cities. And there, sitting outside his tent, not far from Sodom's main gate, is the hapless Lot. A chapter ago, he seemed to have made rather a clever choice of a place to live. Now his decision looks less precedent. So, again, he saw with his eyes that the land was good. But did it come under his benefit? Also, you know, it's another historical thing. So remember Lot saw with his eyes, right, Ethan? Lot saw with his eyes the land was good, and so he moved near Sodom, right? You know, what's interesting is the two tribe, Manasseh and Ephraim, who separated, right? Who didn't want to be part of they wanted land, but not technically part of the promised land. You know what's interesting is later on, they're the very first areas that get taken by the Assyrian conquest. And so again, like there's always this story of Yahweh has his optimal decision, but he has his choice, but he's always like taking a step back for other people. And so he took a step back for Manasseh and Ephraim. Like they choose to not to want to be in the original lands. And then see how that turns up when the Assyrians come knocking a couple hundred years later. Abraham might have thought that giving Lot the freedom to make it on his own would make his life simpler, but it turns out to make it more complicated. Nor is this the last time it does that. Lot is Abraham's brother, a member of his extended family. That imposes obligations. But Abraham is also fortunate to have some covenant partners. That is allies. Within the family, you do not have a covenant. Being in the same family implies a mutual commitment. There is such a family commitment between Abraham and Lot, and another one between Mamre, Eshcol, and Aner as brothers. Perhaps in that broader sense of members of the same extended family, Mamre and Eshcol are here the names of people, not places, as they are elsewhere. But in addition, Abraham on one side and these three brothers on the other have entered into a committed covenant relationship with one another. They will not take advantage of one another, and they will defend and support one another in practical ways. All right. Anything stood out to you, bro? Any thoughts, Ethan? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. True. And it's interesting now that this covenant with King Jesus makes us family. And so now we are stuck and cling to each other. All right, friends, we can start. Oh, the update's done, but, you know, since you have been claimed for your time, I want to do this.
Time to abandon ship.
That's what he decided when we're...
What do you desire? This feeling, oh.
So my many different potent blessings just aren't good enough for you? Is that what you would like me to believe?
Sorry. Vitality.
To follow Jesus. I have decided to follow Jesus. Are you not going to turn back on that decision, Tar? No. No turning back. No turning back. No turning back. I like that.
A boon.
Fear not, niece, all my anger's washed away as quickly as it swelled. That's emotions for you. The seas themselves are simpler to control.
Strength of the sea.
Behold, and another.
Right?
I know this place.
Of mice. Gust of wind and spray of sea. It's been too long. I wonder, does sour Lady Hecate as yet consort with that tactician shade of hers? Not of surpassing stature, prone to talk. Oh, what was his name again?
Oh, we had spikes, that's why. Psych! No. Yes!
Oh, nice.
Now you have to see this. I was like, now's my chance. New.
almost had it in. Oh, nice. Go for it.
Yes!
Nice.
I'm like, wait, what? I can score it.
Oh man. Dang it.
Nah, nah, nah.
Nice. Dude, you got 3 goals already.
You like my pigeon thing?
The pigeon is awesome. I'm going for it.
Oh,
There we go. Look at this. I had to control that boost thing as well.
Yeah, we win.
Such a good goal that the camera lost track of the ball. Nice. Oh.
No. You weren't using spikes to do that, boy. Nice try, buddy. God damn it. He's just dumb to life. Look at him.
I'm going for it.
Nope.
What? How did it get that much force? Oh, he actually is gonna do it.
Yeah, well, he ain't winning, so it won't matter.
Crazy.
We lend our terrifying might to you, that is, Melinoe. For our family is a partnership, and we give as well as take. Now go and use our united strength to take back what's ours.
A wave of power. There they are.
Oh.
All quiet. Taking off.
You.
Ready to get wet.
Caught. There you are. Excellent timing. Felt that.
Have another.
I'll not spar here.
It almost looks as though you're having to contend with the invaders on your own, Lady Athena. There's a lot of mountain to cover, with too few allies.
Well, we have you, cousin. As for our other allies, we as a family are loath to beg assistance or for anything. To all our followers and compatriots, our message has been clear. We have this matter well under control.
Is that the truth of it, or merely posturing, if you'll pardon my bluntness? You are clearly being overrun.
On the contrary, our automatons have quite effectively held many of our enemies at bay, and you and I can make a significant difference as well if we don't dally. Done. How humorous. Beware out there.
An alcove unafflicted by the toil on the otherwise besieged Olympus Heights invites the princess of the underworld to catch what
Back
little
it
breath
in!
remains
Ow.
to her for now.
Can't rest here, not for long.
How about two?
I literally could not see where Flo wanted to go.
Cold, my niece.
Go for it, Golly. Appreciate the help. Look upon me. Didn't work. Be free.
A soul no longer lost.
Young lady, I do believe this was a veritable blessing in disguise. It could have just as soon been any other member of the clan, so you are very fortunate indeed.
Should be useful. Always a treat.
A brief word. It may have taken all your godly relatives, but they were able to resist the monster Typhon's wrath, despite the blunders that you made. Yet now you hurry back.
I realize this must be complicated for you, as someone whose loyalties are mostly to an eagle, but I am not about to let that thing destroy everything my family built.
You ought to choose your loyalties with greater care, not let them be decided by birthright. Well then, come on. You have a summit and a family to protect. Fly, I knew that this would be a struggle, but I'll always take a chance I may be wrong. This shall pass.
See you later.
Buddy.
Whoa. Whoa.
Looking forward to this. There he is. Not a chance.
I am.
Get that, Golly. A fang. Bound. Closer to the top. That broodling again.
Why is it so bad right now?
Look at this.
Destroying him.
Quiet, come in.
Better. What a brute. Special delivery.
Endless horrors spewed from Typhon are of every shape and size, including relatively sinister and larger ones recently fallen to the princes of the underworld's wrath.
I'll slay them all.
Behold the stars.
The end of the path. Higher up. Delivery arrived. Come, you thieves. God, there. A consolation prize. My favorite.
Yes!
Silence. All yours, Gully. Why, thank you. Next floor. Blast.
Clean up this mess!
Vitality. Couldn't do it. else? Better. Prepare, fishy. Victory. Another lamprey. Almost to the top.
What'll it be?
Hermes.
Don't fret too much about Pop's palace up there, Em. Old Typhon's big and strong and all, but he can't crush what he can't see. Well, not as easily as if he could see it.
That's not entirely assuring. So, Lord Uncle Zeus and the rest have concealed their seat of power, leaving Typhon to direct his fury at this fortress.
Huh? Oh.
Yep, more or less. They figured that if we have to take on Typhon, and we do, this is the perfect spot. After all, it's a long way down from the summit. A quick way down, mind.
Okay.
That's Hermes for you.
Olympus, I accept this message. All is possible. The fortress of the gods. Hiding your lamppost? I'll know how much you had when you lie dead. He's gone into the storm.
You want to watch this final fight? I'm most likely going to win. I've really built myself to survive. Or you want me to turn it up so you could hear the final fight?
Ethan, I'm gonna watch Greg fight this box for a tiny bit.
Okay.
Or not use this, Corey.
I have a whole bunch of health. I should. I'm prepared this time. Unless they... Oh, man. Oh, my God. I keep doing way too early.
I have arrived, Melinui. Now stand aside.
Right on time.
You have him now, Melinui. Fight on.
It's kind of like his thing. He has no... Alright, this is when he does the double... So, like, what happened got me last time is he does, like, when he does this snake, kind of laser, snake tongue laser thing, what throws me off is he does it twice. And so I was able to get the first dodge down, but I was not ready for him to come back with it. Here goes. That one, and then he comes back with it. Oh! Never mind, I've done enough damage where... Oh gosh. Here he goes. That's the part that got me last time. Got me, blapped me dead. Yeah. Here. Oh. This is the farthest I've been going upside.
Fall, you monster.
Alright, let's see how this continues the story.
A void lens. Enough of this place. Almost there. In Ethergate. To all my family on the mountain, let me pass. So bright. It's daybreak.
I don't want to. This is... The artist took a lot of time. This is like... They're showing the great juxtapose of... Now all this beauty. Which now we think Cosmic Mountain. And us biblical thinkers, what are we thinking? Eden. Is pretty much every ancient mythology had a guard.
Is that?
The majestic palace of Zeus stands resolute and strong, for the combined might of the gods has kept that seat of power safe, even from such monstrous adversaries as they face.
These must be just the palace grounds.
Look, husband.
She arrives.
Great Auntie Hestia.
I think the king and queen might like a word.
We tend to
Lord Uncle Zeus.
Okay.
Moonlight, guide us.
Welcome, young lady, to our family's glorious abode. You have our thanks for seeing to it that the monster Typhon failed to reach us here.
And you have our regrets that my lord husband left you to confront that horrid creature on your own. Most of the others are still fortifying the palace. Forgive our rudeness.
There's nothing to forgive, Queen Hera. I am honored to have met you and King Zeus face to face and seen the glory of Olympus firsthand. I owe it to your generous support these many nights.
Come now, Melinoi. We have a shared objective after all. And so long as Kronos sits upon your father's throne, that objective remains incomplete.
Hurrying her off when she only just arrived, husband? Although we've little here for entertainment other than Apollo's plucking. At least our enemy shall be back at our gates before long.
I don't think I can remain anyhow. I need to consult with the Witch of the Crossroads. She may have thoughts on how to rid ourselves of both our great foes at once.
We shall find a means, of that I have no doubt. And until then, we shall be better prepared to meet their charge.
Go on, my dear. We're unaccustomed to expressing gratitude, as you can plainly see. Until such time as your Lord Father and his own queen are restored, there's little cause for cheer, I think.
You know what's interesting is we just got done going through the Bio Project Titus, right, Char? Remember when that the island of Crete, so what they say Zeus was? That he was just a seducer and just not a good person. And like he even mentions, like Zeus even mentions how Hera keeps a tight leash on him. Because he is just known, like these ancient pantheons are just known for
Perhaps
being
You did it, Sunshine. I'd say I knew you would, but the truth is I had an inkling of doubt, especially once I saw Typhon for myself.
He was quite large, I'll give him that. It's a pleasure to finally meet you face to face like this, cousin. You play most beautifully.
Oh, anything to take our minds off of what's happening. At least you bought us a bit of reprieve so I could play again at all. Typhon is going to be back though, isn't he?
I'd count on that, but I'm going to be back as well. For now, please bolster your defenses and make ready for the monster's next attack. Now I had better go. My headmistress is expecting my return.
Can't you just contact her by boon? I'll bring one forth for you in case that works. And thanks for everything, cousin. That's for you.
May I?
Well, that's cool. Yeah. Where are you going?
Lady Athena. Lord Ares. Lord Hephaestus. Artemis. Lord Hermes. Uncle Poseidon. Queen Hera. I'm unaccustomed to being on this side. I see Erebus, I think. Wait, headmistress, is that you? Can you hear me?
In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message. Melenwe, if you can even hear me yonder, I bid you to return. We have matters to discuss.
I have to go now, everyone. Please, take care. And let the others know I'm sorry to have missed them. I'll return.
It'd be interesting because every time I get to see more and more of the Pantheons.
Return to Shadow now. Should check with headmistress.
Out late again, huh? So hold on. How is it you're going after the Titan of Time way down below, but he's also attacking Olympus way up top? Is he two separate guys or just the one?
Kronos isn't attacking Olympus personally, Dora. He's just sending his legions there. He has a dangerous commander leading the assault. A different Titan called Prometheus.
A different Titan called Prometheus? Prometheus.
Yes, the Titan of Foresight. Even you probably know the tale of his punishment for stealing from the gods.
No, it's... I think... Nah, don't worry about it. See you later, Mel.
Do you know the story of Prometheus, bro? So he gave fire to the humans, but he had steal from Mount Olympus. And he's a Titan. So the Titan's punishment was that on the mountain, pretty much an eagle will eat his liver. And then, I think it's his liver. And then he'll just come back to life and then have to relive the horror again every day. An eagle chowing on his flesh.
You sure?
Prometheus.
No, I think we keep on unraveling more and more of her past. And she doesn't remember it all. And so something like that just... I should interact with the pot first. Let's see, what did I...
So...
One more accomplishment.
No way of knowing how much life force Typhon has. Just have to slay him anyway. My blood and darkness. Let my will
Just makes the ballad shuffle the music every time I go in.
So mote it be.
154. So I can be flexible. All right, then. Let me just do this. Let me go here and it'll save, and then we can do Bioproject and then bounce.
You should speak with Headmistress before I go.
Oh. Let me just.
Your victory against Typhon. Have you there anything to show for it? Any sort of specimens or samples of his flesh?
I hope you like hideous eyes, Headmistress. Is there an incantation that you have in mind requiring such filth?
Perhaps. Hold on to all of that for now. But when the time is right, we shall turn all that monstrous power back against itself and rid this world of that fiend for good.
Yes, Headmistress.
Use their power against
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
All right. Huh. It's very true. Tackle that, please.
Don't want me if you're not just gonna you want your chair.
The birth of Jesus, Luke 1 and 2. All right.
Are you going to join us, Ethan?
No.
Perhaps.
You shall not pass.
You know, there's a chair right here. That's true.
Now if I take her first and use that as a footrest.
How emotionally tied you are to that chair?
The Gospel of Luke. Luke investigated many of the earliest eyewitnesses of the life of Jesus and then composed this account.
And the story begins up in the hills of Jerusalem, the place where Israel's ancient prophets said that God himself would come one day to establish his kingdom over all the earth.
In the city is the temple, run by the priests, and one of them, named Zechariah, was working in the temple when he had a vision that freaks him out. An angel appears and says that he and his wife will have a son. What's this all about?
Well, Zechariah and his wife, we're told, are very old. They've never been able to have children. And Luke's setting up a parallel here with Abraham and Sarah, the great ancestors of Israel, because they too were very old and could never have kids.
Yet God gave them a son, Isaac, which is how the whole story of Israel began.
And so Luke's implying here that God's about to do something that significant for this people once again.
The angel tells Zechariah to name the son John.
And then he says that this son's going to fulfill a promise of Israel's ancient prophets, that somebody would come one day to prepare Israel to meet their God when he arrived to rule in Jerusalem.
Because right now, Jerusalem is ruled by the Romans.
Yeah, specifically, it's governed by a man named Herod, who's a puppet king under the Roman Empire. And so the Jewish people wanted nothing more than to be free and govern themselves in their own land.
So this is shocking news. Everything's going to change. God's on his way. But how is he going to arrive?
Well, to find out, Luke takes us out of Jerusalem and then up into a small town in the hills of an out-of-the-way region called Galilee. And there we find a young woman named Mariam, or we call her Mary. She was engaged to be married.
And then an angel appears to Mary, saying that she's going to have a son.
She's supposed to name him Jesus, which in Hebrew means the Lord saves. And he will be a king like David, who will rule over God's people forever.
And then Mary asks, okay, well, how is this possible? Because I'm a virgin.
And she's told that the same Holy Spirit that brought life and light out of darkness in Genesis chapter 1 is going to generate life inside her womb. God is about to bind himself to humanity through the conception and the birth of the Messiah.
And so Mary goes from some backwoods no-name girl to the future mother of the king?
Exactly. In fact, she sings a song about how this reversal of her own social status points to a greater upheaval to come. through her son, God's going to bring down rulers from their thrones and exalt the poor and the humble. He's going to turn the whole world order upside down.
So when Mary was really pregnant, she and her fiance Joseph had to go down to Bethlehem.
Yeah, there was a decree across the Roman Empire about new taxes, and so everybody had to go get registered in the town of their family line.
There were so many visitors in Bethlehem, they can't find a guest room.
And so the only place they can find is a spot where animals sleep.
Now nearby were some shepherds with their flocks, and an angel appears, which of course freaks them out. But they're told to celebrate, because tonight in Bethlehem, a savior has been born.
Yeah, they're told to go and find this baby, and they'll know that it's the Messiah because he's going to be wrapped up and laying in a grimy feeding trough.
Yeah, which is pretty gross.
Totally. And then these shepherds, who aren't very clean themselves, they go and find the newborn Jesus in this really dingy place, and their minds are blown. They go home wondering what on earth is about to happen.
And this is all really strange. I mean, if God's really coming to save the world, this isn't how you would expect him to arrive. Born in an animal shelter to a teenage girl, celebrated by no-name shepherds.
Exactly. I mean, everything is backwards in Luke's story, and that's the point. He is showing how God's kingdom was first revealed in these dirty places among the poor, because Jesus is here to bring salvation by turning our world order upside down.
All right, takeaway, bro. Have anything? Ethan, you have anything thoughts?
Be gone.
Just
Fuck.
thinking of
Leviticus 26, verse 11.
basically God saying that he is going to walk among his people. But he mentions my soul, but the word soul that's used there is nafshi. Nefesh, which is like just that same word, it's just like body.
Mm-hmm.
Nafshi is my body. So nefesh was used in reference to Adam when he was created.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the breath of life plus a physical body, and the combination of those was a soul or nefesh.
Yeah.
So nafshi in Leviticus 26:11 is kind of prophesying that moment right there. The physical, like, embodiment of God in a body among his people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, yes.
Dirt creatures. All right. Continue to amazing. Thank you for this Friday. Thank you for all your amazing blessings. Thank you for coming in flesh, as in Leviticus talked about. We also thank you for the writings of the prophets that prepared this time. Thank you that you don't come as we just expect. We expect you to come with all the Instagram followers, all the celebrity hype, but you came lowly. So may we choose what's always low, what's always your goodness and right, and how you just turn the world value system upside down. Or upside up, as it should be properly said. May we be people who lift up the weak and marginalized. May we just be people of righteousness and practice of justice, which is setting all relationships right. Amen. All right, guys. Catch you later.